I don't want planted gardens. I want to know what people were like.
Then select Reconstruction.
Okay.
Animate actor.
Thomas Jukes, the firstborn of Arthur Jukes, was a pugnacious, forward person who...
Who's this?
Richard Gough, a gossipy local historian who wrote about his parish in Shropshire. It's a bit early, 1701. You don't mind, do you?
No.
Who, scorning propriety, was passing familiar with the best in the parish. His dexterity at bowling...
What's he on about?
If you don't understand old-fashioned language, might I suggest you select all texts to be given in modern English.
Okay.
Adaptation selected.
Thomas Jukes mixed with his betters. He was a great bowler and often played with Sir Humphrey Lee at a bowling green on Haremere Heath. And he'd show no more respect to Sir Humphrey than if he'd been a ploughboy. He'd tell him, "You cheat," and sometimes throw a ball at his head, and ooh, they'd part in anger. But within a few days, Sir Humphrey would take Jukes with him to play bowls again, and if they didn't fall out, would take him home afterwards and get him drunk. I often heard the two of them were so drunk.
Why is it such a big deal if they play bowls together?
Society then was much more ordered than it is today. Everyone knew each other, and people knew their place, or were meant to. Even where you sat in church mattered. The better the pew, the more important you were.
I'll take a probe.
Probe selected.
Oops.
You are in control.
Oh, sorry. Where's this?
All Saints Church in Shorthampton, Oxfordshire. It's about 800 years old, but the furnishings are from the 18th century.
So where would the poor people sit?
At the back of the church. Actor engage.
After they'd made the pews, there were a few waste planks left over, so Evans Jones, the carpenter, knocked up these. They're for the servants at Balderton Hall.
Not very comfy. Fast forward.
For those a bit better off, pews like these. But if you could afford a little more privacy, look to your left. An enclosed box pew, comfortable and totally private.
This is Mr. Hamner's. He insists on the best view of the minister.
It's all so snobby.
That's the way society was. Rich and poor didn't mix.
So, who are the rich?
Their wealth, status and power came from the ownership of land.
Rich to Visor.
Give me a text.
We breakfast between 10 and 11. We have an immense table. After breakfast, Mr. Scott, the Duke's chaplain, reads a few short prayers, and we then go on as we like. We have a back room for reading, a billiard room, a print room, a drawing room, and whole suites of rooms, not forgetting the music room. There are all sorts of amusements. The gentlemen are out hunting and shooting all the morning. We dine at 4:30 or 5, later to tea, and then to cards about 9, play till supper time. It is pretty late by the time we go to bed.
Oh, lush.
As long as you were one of the lucky few.
Contrast.
What about living here?
No thanks.
Take a look around.
All right.
Lights were made from dipping rushes in bacon fat. One room to live, cook, eat in. They made their own clothes and their own furniture. If they needed a jug, a cooking pot, or some lace, they'd have to walk into the nearest town on market day.
Right.
As many as 10 people might have slept through here.
That's all of it.
It's what life was like for most people.
But they had so little.
Just enough to scrape by.
Text to Visor.
Their ploughed land gives them straw to thatch their cottage and to feed their cow in winter. Also wheat and barley for bread, and in many places beans or peas to feed a pig or two. The pigs are for meat, and the cow gives a breakfast and supper of milk 9 or 10 months in the year. Work is hard, up at dawn and bed at sundown. Children have to help as soon as they are strong enough to hold a broom or carry timber.
Right, 1750, I've sussed it. The rich owned the land and the poor worked on it.